Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, I'm very pleased to join you today for this conference on international connectivity and the EU Atlantic Data Gateway Platform. Let me start by thanking the Ministry of Infrastructure and Housing and the National Communications Authority for organizing this timely event. As we approach 2030, the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, has called for making the next years Europe's digital decade, with the goal of a digitally empowered Europe by 2030. The important discussions that will take place in this forum will advance this goal and will steer us in the right direction toward meaningful connectivity for all citizens by 2030. The COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated, like nothing else could, that ready access to the internet is an unquestionable requirement for fully fledged participation in society and the economy. However, increased demand has also put significant pressure on the infrastructure underpinning connectivity, highlighting gaps within and across countries and regions, showing how reliability and resilience are essential to trusted and high-quality services for all. Boosting the availability of international bandwidth has also become of paramount importance in today's globalized economy, with submarine cables providing vital high-speed backbones to support greater interregional and international connectivity. Further to our recent ITU study, we know that there are several enablers for submarine connectivity, including licensing regimes, access regulation, regulatory regimes for cables, and regional traffic consolidation points, and a need, of course, for additional investment in this area to maximize connectivity. Over the past nearly 10 years, ITU has been monitoring international connectivity through our interactive transmission maps. These maps provide the global community with a good picture of backbone infrastructure as well as transmission links. In the 46 countries of the European region, this project has already mapped over 3.5 million kilometers of routes, 10,000 transmission links, and 6,500 nodes from over 140 backbone operators. Recently, we have also concluded bilateral agreements with authorities in charge of backbone mapping in Andorra, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Moldova, Montenegro, Poland, Serbia, and the Ukraine. And we look forward to collaborating with others on this issue. Of course, infrastructure alone will not lead to an empowered digital community. And that's why we continue to provide support in creating enabling policy and regulatory frameworks, as well as investing in capacity development. We, in preparation for the forthcoming Global Symposium for Regulators, recently held a regional regulatory roundtable for both Europe and Africa. One of the main takeaways from this conference was a constructive exchange of information between stakeholders to advance the European Union and the African Union's priorities on building a digital bridge with strong digital connections between the two continents. We were able to take lessons from the pandemic and our Reg for COVID platform that was established to support network resiliency measures during pandemic times. As lockdowns began, Reg for COVID provided a virtual space for information exchange and sharing of best practices between regulators and other stakeholders in the ICT community to help keep networks up and running and populations connected in critical times. As we look to a post-COVID world, we are assessing how measures that were applied during the emergency phase can be retained or changed for recovery and future preparedness, and we'll be bringing this issue to the Global Symposium for Regulators at the end of June. Ladies and gentlemen, Europe leads globally on most connectivity indicators, and I'd like to congratulate member states, national regulatory authorities, regulatory associations, EU institutions, and all other ICT stakeholders for the excellent work that's been done in recent past. Let's not forget that Europe still counts 89 million individuals who remain unconnected to the internet, mostly in the southeastern part of the region. ITU's recent Connecting Humanity study estimates that $33 billion will be needed over the next 10 years just to connect everyone in Europe and Central Asia. With network upgrades and demand for greater bandwidth, these numbers will be even higher. Careful planning and implementation of appropriate international links within Europe and between Europe and the rest of the globe will be absolutely essential. And as well, we need to be investing in other areas, such as digital skills development, so that we can ensure that that connectivity can be used in ways that are empowering for citizens. As I conclude, let me congratulate Portugal for the great progress achieved on connectivity and for stimulating productive discussions on this issue during the country's presidency of the European Union. In particular, I welcome the efforts of the Portuguese presidency in promoting the ministerial declaration on European data gateways as a key element of the EU's policy for a digital decade to achieve the SDGs, as well as for putting international connectivity not just within Europe, but also with other continents such as Africa, the Americas, Asia, for putting them at the center of EU digital policy. We're keenly following Portugal's efforts on innovative technologies, including smart sensing. Smart cables will enable both telecommunications and sensing functionalities for ocean and climate monitoring. It will also enable disaster warnings. We're pleased to see Portugal contributing to the Joint Task Force on Smart Cable Systems set up by the ITU, the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO, and the World Meteorological Organization. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to the European Commission, the European Parliament, BEREC, the EPREG, EMERG, RCC of Western Balkans, and of course CEPT, for their continuous collaboration to implement the ITU regional initiatives for Europe, and in particular, the one on broadband infrastructure for development. I wish you all a very fruitful forum. Thank you.